Okay, so we've got this interesting guy in Australia he claims to be a TikTok comedian, but he's correctly guessing, well, he's saying he's calculating the number of COVID cases for the next day in New South Wales. So let's have a look. So he made the Daily Mail here and he's saying TikTok comedian who correctly guesses COVID numbers claims the New South Wales department has told him to stop because he's compromising the system. So I've been following this because he claimed last night that there'd be 111 cases today, and lo and behold, when I got my mail come through today, New South Wales restrictions tightened as 111 new coronavirus cases reported. So he got it spot on, 111. And if you go to his Instagram, I'll leave the Instagram link in the description. You've got him there here with he's got all these little symbols here. I'll go through these. Some of these look familiar. I won't give away which ones they are, but yeah, it's all a bit of a joke, I think. I'll come up with some theories of what I think is going on. So there he is. He's got his world championship belts. It's like a boxing belts. That's quite funny. Here you go. So what's this? There you go. There you go. Bang. Straight on.
Unfortunately, 29 of those.
Sorry, Gladdy.
Yeah, 111. So you got it right. Let's have a look. There you go.
For those of...
So I'll play this. This is he was interviewed on Sunrise. I think it was yesterday. This morning, was this about a day ago?
For those of us who aren't all that au fait with simple maths, as you describe it, mate, talk us through the calculations that you're performing here, because you got it right 3 days running.
He's doing
yeah,
well.
That's right, and we take them into account many factors. Last night we took into account how many granny flats there are in southwest Sydney, the diameter of Fairfield, the population of Sydney, the current infectious cases in the community. We chuck it in the algorithm and we see what result we get. Another big factor for me is when I was younger, I had a crayon lodged in my brain, and once I had that removed, my IQ went up 50 points, and I'm able to understand these complex, mathematical equations.
That'll do it. For those of us who aren't...
He claims to have a crayon that was lodged in his brain that got removed and his IQ went up 50 points. There's another interview by Sunrise here as well.
This is the state's COVID case numbers. But in the past week, a Sydney TikTok comedian has been beating the Premier to the punch. John Bernard Carews has developed quite a following thanks to his videos, which accurately predict the case numbers. But this is on the night before they're released.
That's right, I can confirm.
Number of new cases in Sydney. Gladdy, I've got you again. If we just carry the one here, there's 28 infectious cases in the community, plus the diameter of Fairfield, divided by the population of Sydney. If we just connect this here, there'll be 65 new cases tomorrow. You can follow me when I'm right.
Mic drop.
The comedian claims his ability comes down to simple maths, though others are a little less convinced.
I'm not convinced, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Let's have a listen to his reasoning. The guy's a comedian. Let's face it, he's not a mathematician. And, yeah.
His exploits have become so popular, they've become a talking point during the COVID press conferences.
There is a gentleman on TikTok who for the past 3 days has released the information about case numbers before you have. Are you concerned there's a compromise within New South Wales Health?
Oh, look, all we can do is focus on the job at hand. And I know at the moment a lot of people have or alleged to have various bits of information or bits of advice, and that's welcome. We're in a democracy.
And
yeah, they say it's welcome, but they're threatening him to stop doing it. So I don't think it's welcome, is it, Gladys? But she does a good job. I like Gladys. She's a very good Premier, New South Wales Premier. So here he is.
Comedian John Bernard Carews joins me now. John Bernard, morning to you. You are either a modern-day Nostradamus, you've got a mind worthy of Mensa, or you have a very good mate at New South Wales Health. Which is it?
As I said earlier, Matt, Nikola Tesla once said that the keys to the universe were 3, 6 and 9, and I'll maintain that, it's all simple maths really, and I put it down to the Carews probability theorem that we've coined, and I'm really happy with the results that we're getting.
Yeah, the old Carews probability theorem is knocking it out of the park. For those of us who aren't all that au fait with simple maths, as you describe it, Mate, talk us through the calculations that you're performing here, because you got it right 3 days running.
Yeah, that's right, and we take them into account many factors. Last night we took into account how many granny flats there are in southwest Sydney, you know, the diameter of Fairfield, the population of Sydney, the current infectious cases in the community. We chuck it in the algorithm and we see what result we get. Another big factor for me is when I was younger, I had a crayon lodged in my brain, and once I had that removed, my IQ went up 50 points, and I'm able to understand these complex, mathematical equations.
That'll do it. Quite seriously, though, are you concerned about a breach? These things are very, very important, and the speculation is rife, and it's got to be on the money that you've got an inside leak at New South Wales Health. Are they coming for you hard? Have you been asked to stop?
I have received calls from New South Wales Health, saying, who is your source and whatnot, and I've maintained it just comes down to just hard and fast maths. And people online have been messaging me, we know you're related to Gladys Berejiklian or have some relation to her, and that's just not true. I know we have similar facial features, but I'm not Armenian, and it's just maths, really.
All right, mate, give us the numbers for today.
Here we go. So this was yesterday, wasn't it? Or was this predicting tomorrow? Let's have a look.
I crunched the numbers last night, Matt, and we landed on 111. Okay. But, as Kerry says, the data's always changing, and I'm acting on the best health advice and data. So I'm going to crunch the numbers again, and you can catch my live press conference on Instagram Live at John Bernard K. And it's 111 is what I got last night.
Yeah, there you go. All right, well, while there are big issues there in terms of the security of these numbers, I think we all need a bit of light relief as well. John Bernard K, thanks for being with us on Weekend Sunrise.
Okay.
No worries, Matt. Thank you for having me.
So that was Weekend Sunrise. So he's done a few predictions. Oh, gee, he's on Studio 10 as well. You can flick through all these. I won't let this run too long. So, yeah, he does the predictions. He's got these little things. And I'll just point out a few little things I've noticed. So he's got... let's just turn the volume down here. So you can see here, can I stop it? Yeah. You can see these little tree diagrams there, and I was thinking, gosh, I've seen those before, and lo and behold, I had seen them before. They're actually on Good Will Hunting. So he's obviously got them off of the Good Will Hunting movie and claimed them as his own. These are tree diagrams. If you haven't watched the movie, the basic mathematical problem was find the maximum number of trees, unique trees, mathematical tree diagrams that you can get from 10 nodes. The answer is 10. So I think, although Matt Damon only put 11 on the board, so I saw another picture and I counted them as only 8. He didn't get all 10, so don't know if it was an oversight by the directors or somebody stuffed up, but there's definitely 10. So that's one of the first problems, and I don't think they use those tree diagrams in virus predictions, like the spread of virus. They use them a lot in computer science and that sort of thing. They call them like hierarchy trees. So that was the first thing, and he's got like a little sine wave. Okay, I'm an electronic engineer. I can understand the sine wave. He's doing a bit of integration there as well. He's got everything here. He's got some integrals happening. Some sums from what have we got there? It's got a little bit of a matrix going there. Down the bottom. He's got the f of x and blah blah blah. He just put some garbage on the board. He's definitely. I've got some theories. I wrote them down. He's either got a New South Wales Health Insider. If he claims that it's not, he hasn't. So my other theory is if he's telling the truth, which I don't think he is, but if he's telling the truth, then he's either got a Vic Health Insider or a Queensland Health. Or the other one would be he's on like a mailing list. By mistake, and he's getting CC'd in with emails, right? Or could have hacked the email account. I hope he hasn't hacked an email account, because that's be like a federal crime. Or a really outrageous one I was thinking of is we've got the CCP on up in the coast of, I think they're over the coast of Queensland at the moment. They're doing some war games up there, so maybe the CCP's hacked and giving the information and spreading it that way. That's a bit outrageous, that one. But I've done some calculations myself of COVID. When it first started, I think it was only about 38,000 cases. So I'll leave the link. Leave the link over there, that way. I actually predicted that the fatality rate would be 2% when there was only like 38,000 cases, and everyone was saying it's just like the flu, blah, blah, blah. And I said, no way, it's 50 times deadlier than the flu. So I thought I'd look into a bit of education on how this virus gets spread. So what you need to know is the R0 number, right? So the bigger the R0 number, the more it spreads. Now that's not a fatality. You know, fatality rate's saying different, but this is the contagion infectious rate. So as you can see here, you've got a slope of 1 if the R is 1, and if the R is greater than 1, like 1.1, you get an exponential growth. Right? And if it's less than 1, the rate goes down. So you want the R number to go down, and that can be done through vaccination, social distancing, and so forth. So I was looking at all the different variants. These are on some BBC websites. How worse can the variants get? So you've got some R0 numbers here. So this is quite interesting. I hope you appreciate this. I've done a little bit of extra research. So I find this quite interesting, how the different variants work. So the original Wuhan virus came from Wuhan in China. That was between 2.4 and 2.6. So basically, for every one person that gets it, they give it to between 2.4 and 2.6 people. So you notice here there's a range as well. So that's why I don't believe this guy is pinpointing the results, you know, to the nearest one. you can't do it because there's a range. There's a range, and also so many factors. You cannot mathematically model it that accurately. Right, so the one that did caused the first wave in Europe rose up to 3, and then the alpha went to 4 to 5. So it's got here the alpha variant was the UK variant, beta was South African, gamma was Brazil, and India was the delta. So we're dealing with the delta at the moment. Delta is the prominent variant in Australia, and that's between 5 and 8. This is why the Premier is really worried about this, and we're having a hard lockdown because it can spread really quickly. So imagine one person gives it to, say, 5. We'll go to the low end 5. Then those 5 give it to another 5 each. So if you didn't have a lockdown, it would just spread so quickly. And then the next day they give it to another 5, and so forth. There's an interesting. Well, so I think it was a bit of a maths problem. I can't remember the story now. I should have looked it up before it just came into my head. A story about, I think somebody saved a king in this, like this fable. They saved a king, and the king says, "Oh, I'll give you a reward. What do you want?" And he goes, "Okay, I want." He had a chessboard, and he goes, "Okay, I'll give me 1 grain of rice on the first position on the chessboard, and the next day give me 2 grains of rice, and after that 4 grains of rice, and after that 8 grains of rice." They go, "Oh, beautiful, we'll do that." And if you do the math, it's 2 to the 64 power. If you basically the king gave away all his rice, so there was not enough rice in the kingdom to pay off the debt. And that's the sort of analogy we got here. You can do the experiment yourself. Get a chessboard. Put 1 grain of rice in the first one, and then work your way down to 64 days after, 2 months after. You've pretty much got the spread all around the world. So this is a problem we've got now, the high R0 factor of Delta. So I really don't believe this guy is doing maths to work this out. As you can see here, you can't accurately predict it using maths. Now you can model it and get roundabout figures. We know that a delta of 5 to 8 is going to spread very quickly, and that's about all we can do. You can sort of model it to a certain degree. Is there anything else here worth reading? No, that's about it. So there we go, guys. I do not believe this John fellow has any special powers. He's not Nostradamus. I've been called John Stradamus a fair bit over the years because I tend to predict things. And as I said, I'll leave that link for that. Sorry, leave that link over there. Oh, I hate this back to front thing. Oh, that way, that way, that way. Go that way. I'll leave that link over there so you can have a look at my early predictions on how deadly this virus was to start with. Yeah, it's they're saying now when the Delta variant first came out. Firstly, they were saying that it's a lot more virulent, which means it's more infectious. But they were saying that the fatality rate was lower, but now they're finding it's about the same, and also it's targeting young people as well. They've got like 20-year-olds in ICU and that sort of thing. So it's changing the whole ball game here. So, but the good news is the vaccines are helping it. Like, you know, they actually work. They combat it for now. So this variant's not too bad. Hopefully there's not another variant that's going to go around. And that's why it's really important to lock down, because you don't want it spreading through the community, because the more it spreads, the more people it'll mutate. And so we don't want a mutation happening. I think that's a problem that's going to happen in the UK, because I think they're actually getting out of lockdown way too early, and I'm pretty sure that's where the next variant is going to come from. So I think that's why they're calling them Alpha, Beta, Delta, and so forth, because we're going to have 2 UK variants. That's my prediction. John Stradamus predicts there'll be another one. We'll have the Alpha from the UK, and I believe once they get out of lockdown and they just open up totally, I think the vaccine rate's not high enough. It's going to spread around. We'll get another variant, and then there'll be a case of who's going to win, the vaccine or the variant, and there'll be panicking and trying to develop another vaccine if it becomes vaccine resistant. So there we go. So my advice is everyone get vaccinated. Go see your doctor and talk to them and work out your best strategy. Get them to tell you the risks. They know your personal history, your medical history, so they'll be able to advise you. But overall, if you can get a vaccine, get a vaccine. So that's one way that it can actually stop, because if your body fights it off, you're not going to pass it on. So you got more chance with a vaccine than without a vaccine. All right, guys, we'll leave it there. Hope you enjoyed that one. Yeah, some interesting info there. I'll leave links to John's Instagram and so forth. You can have a look. He's quite interesting. And we'll keep on top of that, because he's got the numbers spot on every day. So he's obviously got an insider somewhere. He's getting some info somewhere before it gets released to the public through the state premier. Okay, guys, you know the drill. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you next time. Cheers.